Yo, what is up, gamers? It is Samool here, back with another Epic 7 video for you guys today. And today we're going to be looking at the balance patch, or the patch notes that have come out. Basically, these are going to be taking effect on February 17th, about 2 weeks from this video. And there's some nice changes that I previously looked at, and I think you guys might be happy if you guys own some of these lesser used units. But yeah, before we get into this patch note though, if you guys aren't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button because you'll get alerts whenever I drop videos. And also, I've been starting to stream a new series on YouTube lately. Basically, I'm running a new account that's only using 3-star units and heroes, and we have no specialty change units on our team, and I'm going to try to progress as far as I can in both PvE and PvP later on. After this video releases, I'll probably be also streaming on YouTube, so if you guys are watching this video very short after the release, keep an eye out for my YouTube stream going on in a couple hours or so. So getting started, we have the list of heroes and the artifacts here. So yes, Alteria, we have Designer Lilibet, Chloe, Celine, Lilibet, Sinful Angelica, and then we also have Inos, Lily, and Aiden. And then for artifacts, we have Cradle of Life, Little Queen's Huge Crown, and Elle's Fist. So getting started, right off the top, we have Alteria. So this unit was pretty awful. Even right after her release, she was already noted as pretty bad, and she definitely needed a hotfix right after release because she was just that awful in my opinion. But yeah, the biggest problem is she gets really destroyed by counterattack units, and she was just a squishy unit and hard to build for not having that much value. So you'll see her S-Wing is changed now to a chance to dispel 1 buff, which is really nice because you're running her on high effectiveness anyways. And also when you're granted your Daydream, which you'll pretty much have up all the time, you get an extra attack, which is the AoE attack that has a chance to stun. So very, very nice because now you have a chance to dual attack, because previously you didn't. And also you can actually start stripping a lot of units, and since you're high effectiveness build, like I said, you're going to consistently be able to strip a lot of units, and there's a lot of annoying buffs in the meta, right? There's a lot of barriers, a lot of immunity buffs, you know, invincibility buffs, it's just really annoying to deal with. And the fact that we have a control unit that actually can consistently strip, and will probably be more tanky, as you'll see in her other abilities being changed. It's a really good change for her. Definitely will make her a lot stronger. Next we have her S2. So not only does it give you a chance to get the Daydream anymore when you're buffed, you actually just get it no matter what. So it kind of works like Rylet's Evasion S2. It's a really nice change. You don't have to be buffed anymore because yeah, there's a lot of unbuffables in the game, and it's pretty hard to, you know, consistently have a buff on your unit all the time, especially when your unit is not being run on high effect resist. And also at the end of her turn, she's going to get stealth, which is really nice because, like I said, she gets punished really hard by AoE attackers, or not AoE attackers, counter attackers. So against like Rems and Bellions, basically you just constantly proc the counters and you get one shot. But now that you have stealth, you actually are a lot tankier because stealth makes you take less damage from AoE attacks when your stealth is up. Next we have her S3, same thing, but now it gives you barrier. Barrier is really nice because, like I said, she really struggles to be, you know, what's it called? Tanky. She like dies really quickly. Now you have a stealth and a barrier, which is a really, really OP combo. Makes you strong against AoE attacks by a lot, and makes you really also strong against single target attacks a lot. So thank God she got some changes, guys. It makes her a lot tankier. I think she'll be a lot more usable. Next we have Designer Lilibet. So basically she's going to generate fighting spirit more quickly, and also what happens is now she's going to get a defense buff. So this is really nice because her damage all scales with defense. And also you'll see with her S3, not only does it only cleanse 2 debuffs anymore, now you actually also can CR push your team besides yourself. So basically you're going to be cycling super fast now, a lot faster than before. You'll be a lot more tankier, do a lot more damage, and also CR push your allies. So although this seems like a small change, I think this will be a pretty big change for Designer a little bit. She's going to be above average now for sure, rather than, you know, terrible. So I think this is a really nice change. Before she only did damage, that's pretty much it, and I guess cleanse a bit as well. But now with the fighting spirit changes, she isn't going to be in that weird spot where you need to speed tune her perfectly to get her to work against certain teams. So I think this is a very much needed change. I think she'll be a lot more usable in general purpose now, especially against debuffers, right? Next we have a Chloe change. So this is kind of catered towards PvE, but I don't think it matters too much. Basically you get a CR push when you use your magic bolt, but that doesn't really matter too much, even though it seems pretty cool. I don't think it'll really affect her usage anywhere in PvE. We also have her soul burn being changed to deal more damage on her S3. But yeah, like I said, I don't think that'll be that much more useful than she is now. Now we have an exclusive equipment change, basically an attack buff instead of a random chance to get an extra turn. It's a pretty nice change. But yeah, like I said, Chloe is just, her entire kit needs to be reworked. It's really basic. Even though she's getting a CR push now, like that's definitely not enough to bring her anywhere. She'll definitely be better for Wyvern, but I think even after the changes, she's going to be not nearly as good as the top tier Wyvern units like Mui, Sigrid, right? Like Mui's a 3-star unit that's new, and he's just going to be way better than Chloe even after her buffs. Next we have Celine. So Celine's change I think is the most interesting. So before, she could get hit with debuffs, right? And they would stick before she gets her counterattack off. But now when you get hit by debuffs, right, you can actually cleanse yourself and then attack. So really, really nice change. You also get a combat readiness push, which makes it so if you run her on her artifact, you can run her at a pretty low speed. And then you can cut and use your S3 right after. Now you see your S3 right now. The debuff cleansing is removed from that and moved on to her S2, which is really, really nice change because you're always going to S2 into S3 most of the time. Now it also gives you a barrier, so this makes her a lot more tankier because barrier and evasion is really, really annoying to deal with, guys. So yeah, pretty nice change. She's going to get S2 into S3 off now if you speed tune her correctly. So I think she's actually going to be way more useful because you're going to be able to do twice as much damage because you're getting 2 skills off now, right? Instead of just getting 1 shot. So I think this is a really, really nice change. She works kind of like Politis, but like single target. So yeah, pretty good change for her. I think she'll be really strong versus Cleave and a lot more frequent against units like Conqueror Lilius and Angel of Light, who have a lot of non-attack skills that are really annoying. Next we have Lilibet. So Lilibet's change is pretty interesting too. Basically, her S2 has a chance to inflict 3 bleeding effects. Each one is a separate roll. You're definitely going to have 1 stick. And now whenever you S3, you're also, or whenever you S2, you're also going to get 100% CR push if you land a bleed. So you can S2 into her S3 now. Her S3 basically got changed to decrease skill cooldowns, which doesn't really matter too much in my opinion. But basically the biggest point of this buff is that she can S2 onto a tank, inflict bleeding debuffs, right? 100% CR push if one lands, and then you S3 right after and execute a tanky unit. So it's really, really nice against, you know, like Fallen Cecilia's, anything that's pretty tanky like Bellion, right? Apoc Ravi if you can land your bleeds. Problem is you still need to land that bleed, and you're not going to really run her on effectiveness, so yeah, it's going to be hard to land it on high effect resist units, but pretty nice change. It makes her more of a tank killer now instead of a one-trick pony that only can attack like RBs and squished units, right? It's a pretty cool change in my opinion. Next, we also have, she also has a new exclusive equipment which will dispel 2 debuffs from her before she uses her S2, which is pretty nice. Gives her a cleansing effect kind of like Celine, right? I think they're trying to add self-sufficient cleansing because there's a lot of debuffs in the game. Next, we have the 4 stars. So we have Sinful Angelica. Now she also cleanses 1 debuff. Really nice change because basically if 1 debuff unbuffable lands on your team, you're basically screwed because you can't land your attack and speed buff. Also, if you get like a blind debuff on your team when you're cleaving, you're also screwed because you're going to miss on your units 100% of the time because Smilegate's RNG works like that, right? So really nice change. It makes sure that makes it that she doesn't need to be run on Doctor's Bag and or Wonders Potion Vial anymore to try to cleanse her team because she has one built in, because those were the most common artifacts to run on her besides like Shamadra, Staff, and stuff like that. Next we have Inos, 3-star change. So this makes her pretty good in PvE because if you're manualing, you have a basically a Falcon and Clury S3 effect on her S3 or on her S1, excluding the unbuffable and strip. And also her S3's cooldown is a lot lower by 1 turn. You get attack and speed buff for 2 turns. So really nice PvE unit in my opinion. I'm gonna use her for sure in my challenge, but it's really nice because if you lack like Landy and Tamarin, you can actually slot Inos in as your speed and attack buffer, which are really, really powerful buffs in PvE. So I'm glad to see this change. I think she'll be a lot more usable now. Next we have Lucy. So they're reducing the cooldown on her AoE attack that restricts and decreases speed. And now instead of just granting a barrier, she also will heal, which makes her a lot more usable in general purpose. I just don't think these buffs are big enough to make her usable though, because yeah, there's just way better healers and support units you can use in PvE. Like even Amomo is still a lot better, right? She's more of an offensive threat though with her debuffs, but in PvE. But yeah, I still don't think she'll be that great. Next we have Aiden. Basically, she's gonna do more damage now, and yeah, physical weakness shared cannot be dispelled. That's the only thing that's being changed. I don't think it's going to change too much. Next, we get into the artifacts, guys. So actually, the biggest artifact change, in my opinion, is Cradle of Life. You're going to see that it has a 40% chance instead of 35, which maxes at 80 instead of 70, to inflict a random debuff for 2 turns instead of 1 turn, which makes it a lot better for Wyvern. Because the reason why you wouldn't use it in Wyvern is because 1-turn debuffs are pretty meh. But now that it's 2 turns, it'll stick a lot longer. You won't have to, speed tune it so you're permanently, trying to lap Wyvern over and over because the debuffs are 2 turns now. And also, the one downside though is it's being changed from Poison to Burn. Poison does more damage in a Wyvern setting than Burn does because Burn scales with your attack, while Poison will scale with the boss's HP, which will always do more in Wyvern. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good change. It'll make this artifact a lot more viable in Wyvern, on Sigrid, Terran Guard, whatever warrior you're using. So yeah, if you have a Cradle of Life, you have a Sigrid, and you're still struggling with debuffs, guys, just slap on your Cradle of Life on Sigrid, and you should be good to go. Next, we have Little Queen's Huge Crown. Basically, they're changing it so it's just a flat damage increase, and you just get the bonus increase in damage if the enemy's granted a barrier. So if you're attacking a unit with a barrier, there's no additional change. I think this change is just whatever. They needed to buff this artifact in a different way because this artifact was pretty bad, and it still is pretty bad in my opinion. And next we have a 4-star artifact, El's Fist, being changed. Basically, they're giving you a flat 10% attack with the bonus effects. It seems okay, but there's a lot of good warrior artifacts to keep in mind. We have like Draco Plate, Sigurd Scythe, Bordered Coin, right, stuff like that. So it's going to be hard to use this over them. But I think it is a good change. I guess it just makes it usable in PvE, kind of, if you're using like a warrior. But yeah, I still don't think this artifact's good. They needed to change this as well in a different way. So that pretty much sums up my patch preview, or balance adjustment patch preview. Basically, yeah, there's a lot of changes. I think they need to add some nerfs in the game though, guys. But you know, this is a good start. They're buffing some units that really needed buffs. So yeah, I kind of like these changes, but you know, we'll see. Maybe there'll be more changes in the future, hopefully. But yeah, as always, guys, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel because, like I said, I'll be streaming a few hours after this video is released and continuing that 0 to Hero challenge, and I hope to see you guys there. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.